You know, it's good to celebrate this Thanksgiving time, and Thanksgiving was just a few days ago, and unlike Steve, I am sore. Apparently, I fully participated in the games, and so I'm thankful that I can even move around today. That's a good thing. In 2 Thessalonians 1, the Apostle Paul wrote to a church. He had started the church at this town called Thessalonica, and around 50 A.D., and he was there for a few weeks. And then the people in the town chased him out of town. There was a riot started, and the people in town didn't want him there, and so they just chased him out. And so Paul wrote a letter back to the church of Thessalonica, and this is what he said to them. This is the second letter he wrote to them. He said this: "We ought always to thank God for you, brothers, and rightly so, because your faith is growing more and more, and the love every one of you has for each other is increasing. Therefore, among God's churches, we boast about your perseverance and faith in all the persecutions and trials that you're enduring." Paul wrote to the church at Thessalonica and said, you know what, we just thank God for you. We thank God because of your faith. We thank God because of your love. We thank God because of your perseverance. You're putting up with a lot of stuff, and you're staying faithful to God. Well, you know, in our church today, we have a lot of things to be thankful for. God is doing a lot of things in a lot of people's lives. And those stories of what God is doing in your life, that's called your testimony. It's what God is doing in your life. Now, here's the deal. As the pastor, I get to hear a lot of those stories. But I think as a church, you miss out at times. And so this morning, we're just going to do something just totally different. And we're going to let you tell your stories. And so the question we have for this morning is this: what has God done for you through this church? What has God done for you through this church? And what we want to do is give you a chance to say that out loud. And so what we're going to do is we have this microphone right here, and it's going to be on right here, and we're just going to ask you to come up here. You can come up one side or the other, and just come up on stage. And in less than 2 minutes, okay, sorry, it's not your sermon time. And so, but there are a lot of things that we're thankful for as a church. And we're thankful for what God has been doing. And so we're just going to invite you to come up here, share your story. Just come up here. Just tell us your name. Tell us how long you've been going to church here, and what God has done for you through this church. And so I'm anticipating if there gets to be a line, as you come up, just sit on the front row, and as someone gets done, just come on up either side. And so I just need someone to start. Come on up, and we're going to have you share some stories of what you're thankful for. And the next people in line, just sit on one of the sides, and we will get to you right away.
I'll probably start bawling, but I've been going here since my youngest, who's now 13, has been 3 months old. So we've almost 14 years. I'm thankful for this church. I was once in charge of children's ministries and had no idea what I was doing, but I was kind of asked to step up in the youth group, and it's been like an ultimate passion of mine. Sorry. So even with the youth group, I get to act like the immature being that I am. And, I thank you guys for letting me be who I am. And I know I'm distracting out there. I know that, I'm not normal. But I wish and dream that everybody could find their passion in life like I have with these youth kids. And, like I've said on Facebook, they're not perfect. I'm not perfect, but they're here. And I love all you guys. Thanks.
As you come up, just get your face up close to the mic. Okay. That way it doesn't ring and stuff.
Hi, I'm Ginger. I've been coming here going on 4 years. And I used to be really lonely. It's just me and my son. And I used to be really lonely, and I used to pray and ask God to take the loneliness away. And he did when I came to this church. And he gave me a family. It's all of you. And I thank him so much for that. And I thank you for being my family.
Well, most of you know me. I'm Marvin. I've been going to church here since I got to the valley. 10, 12 years, a long time. I went to a birthday party for my grandson here a while back, and it made me have a heart attack. And no, it really wasn't Everett's fault. But anyway, Everett's my son-in-law, so I have to put up with a lot. But the love that I felt when I was in the hospital, all the people praying for me saved my life. Thank you.
My name is Angela Thomas. I've been going here since my friend Sherry brought me here, and I'm glad that I have a good family now.
Hi, I'm Melody. I just want to thank all of you for making me feel welcome. I've been coming for about 2 or 3 months now, and I don't ever want to miss a Sunday. Thank you for accepting me and bringing me back to my Jesus, the Lord.
Oh, it's one of those. Okay, try that.
I've been here about 10 times. My name is Josh, and I'm thankful to learn more about God.
Josh was just baptized a couple of weeks ago, so we're thankful that he's here. My name's Marcy, and I also belong to Everett. And, the first thing that came to my mind when Brian said that, what has the church given to you? And, have you ever heard of the Village? Ever since Christian, my son, was born, the church has been an incredible village for us. We constantly speak amongst our family just how much we are so thankful that we have the church family. And when we see people who are struggling in life and who are alone and missing out, we just recognize the difference of the richness of our lives because of you, compared to how lonely they can be and how sad they are without having the support that we've had in growing our family. And Scottsdale Christian Church has been a rich blessing over and over and over again for us. And let's see, to answer the question, I've been coming here since 1995, and I have truly been blessed by so many people here at Scottsdale Christian Church. It would take me hours. But the first thing that came to my mind was the Village, the way that you guys have enveloped Christian and helped him. I feel that he can go into any room in this church and be completely taken care of because my family is here. Thank you.
My name is Leona. I've been coming here for 9 years. But what the church has done for me happened almost a year ago. My mom fell and broke her hip in December. It's been almost a year. And that started the roller coaster ride. During that course of time, I went home January 4th, and I didn't come home until March. My dad passed away while I was there. And through this church, because I was in another state, I'm from Pennsylvania. I was in another state. In 3 months, I went to church 3 times. And I was going through withdrawal, big time. And because of Facebook, and because I'm grounded in this church, I have been in so many Bible studies and women's groups, and name it, I've been all over. I'm very involved. But through the prayer of my church family, I got to come home March 28th. And if it wasn't for you people, I would have lost my faith. I wouldn't have anything to stand on, because I need that accountability. And you all you jumped in there, you gave me encouragement, you prayed for me, you gave me scriptures and and if I didn't have this church family, and yes, I have 2 wonderful daughters, but I have all of you. And that's the best.
Hi, my name is Len, and I honestly don't know how long I've been coming to this church. I think it was before or about the same time that Everett started being the pastor. I'm not sure. John, you may know because you were there when I first came. I was a minister, full-time minister in the Midwest, and I went through a divorce, and I became a spiritual leper. They wouldn't let me, any churches in the Midwest would not let me serve. And when I came to the Valley, I was invited to come here and serve. I was asked to fill in when you had a empty pulpit because the minister was on vacation, and I got to serve. I sat in my office one time in the Midwest and cried because I had felt a call of God to be a minister. There was a day that in my studies, they asked me to think about our calling. And I felt called of God to be a minister. I was at the time, but that was the first time I realized a call to do that. But when I went through the divorce, nobody would let me serve. And then when I came to Scottsdale Christian Church, you let me serve. The praise team pointed me to God. I told Everett one time, if you ever stop pointing me to God and you just be a concert, I'm going somewhere else. And they've never stopped pointing me to God. That's why I come. I come to be fed, but I come mostly because you give me a place to serve. God gives me a place to serve through you. And that's why I come. That's what you do for me. And I want to thank you.
My name is Trinity, and I've only been here a couple of times when I go with my grandma and my grandpa. And I was going through a really tough time of just being really upset, and they would pray for me, and every time I saw them and called them, they told me that they were praying for me to get better. And recently I have, and I've been much more happier and just able to live my life with more just happiness and being able to hold my head up high and telling myself that it's all going to get better.
Okay, Trish, I'm going to back your tears up probably. I'm Tom. I've been going here, I think, 6.5 years now. When I came here, I was pretty broken. And everyone knows I've been homeless and had a drug addiction. And I thought I was at a place, I'd been back with God for about a year at that point. But I thought there was no place that I could ever serve with my past. I didn't even know what my future held. And here I was able to meet people like Paul and Steve DeWolf, who showed me that I could have a real life again. So they were some good mentors for me. And I thought I would always just be sitting on the back row, worshiping God alone. Never did I think I would ever have a family like you, or be able to serve. I remember the first time that someone asked me to serve communion. I cried all the way through it. And I still cry all the way through services still. But, but I just thank you so much for being my family, for welcoming me, and for God putting me here where I can serve. And I've gotten to use my past here to help others. And it's such a blessing, and I am so excited to see what God has left for me. Thank you.
A lot of you people know me. I'm Charlie, and my wife is Mrs. Charlie. We're snowbirds from Illinois, and we came here because of a young man named Craig Viola, who is no longer with us. But we also are thankful for this church sponsoring, giving me a letter and my wife a letter to visit in jail. And we also minister in the prison in Buckeye, and that's through something former that we've done, which we've done for 5 years here. We've been coming here, I believe, about 5 years, and I'm mentioning this because I believe it's an unusual aspect of this church to sponsor someone to visit in jail and prison. So if there's anything we can do to help, we'd be glad to do that. And I thank you for the contemporary service. It's a little loud for some of us, but I think you understand that. But a lot of churches these days around the country do not allow a contemporary service. And some churches even call it a modern service instead of contemporary. And just keep it up. And we look for a contemporary service wherever. The traditional does nothing to stir our spirit. And you have to get your spirit moved up so you can praise the Lord, whichever way you do.
You want to go first, Sweeney? All right, my name is Paul, and my 2 minutes is up. I've been coming to this church for about 14 or 15 years. I was baptized by that man up there before he had a ponytail. I love watching the growth of this church, and the one thing that I have to say that I've learned is this church has taught me how to be a man, what it's like to be a real man, a Christian man. And a lot of times I fall short of that, and recently I have. And the one thing that I know Brian's question is, what has the church done for me? I'll tell you what it's done for me. It's taught me in order to be a disciple of Christ, in order to be a man of Christ, it's what I do for the church. It's not what I get out of the church. I've talked to a lot of people that have come and gone from churches all over and that have come and gone from our church. And it seems to be the common theme. I wasn't getting fed. I wasn't getting this. They weren't doing this for me. And I learned from people at this church and Charlie and people like that in my life that teach me that I need to serve. I need to say, what am I doing for Christ? I need to put on a face of Christ. And that's the one thing that this church has taught me, is that I can put on the face of Christ and not think I'm Christ and not have to be perfect. And just keep going out there and serving. I love the men of this church. That's why I like serving the men of this church and making disciples of other men, whether they go to our church or not, whether they sit here or not. We're out there serving in our community. And when we're out in our community, the one thing I have learned through community service is that when we show our face out in the community, whether they come back and follow us or not, they know we're here. And I've learned that. I've become a man in this church, and I've watched a lot of other men become men in this church, and that's what keeps me coming back. So.
Morning. Hello, everybody. My name is Mark. I've been coming here for about 4 years. I truly am blessed in life, and I can't go on enough about the ways that I've been blessed since I've come to Jesus and started walking with him. This church has given me the confidence and comfort to go out into the world and speak more about Jesus and let people know the truth, something I didn't have before. It's given me the ability to bring my wife here with me for about the past year, and in turn, us both letting Jesus into our marriage has really strengthened that and given us a level that I didn't know was there before. And through the Bible studies here, I've met a lot of awesome people who have helped in that walk, and lifelong friends, some very close people to us now that help us each and every day with that. A big thing it's given me is the ability to work with the youth, which is something I look forward to every week because there's some great kids. Got my man Stefan back here. So each and every day I thank God for this church and the teachings I get and things I'm able to do through this. So, I'm very happy to be here. God bless you all. Go Cardinals.
I'm Phil Pajak. Some of you know me, and for some crazy reason, they asked me to be an elder here, and I'm privileged to do it. But when my wife and I came here Easter Sunday, 2009, because a friend of ours was preaching here at the time, we didn't really know that this would become our church home until a few months later. But until that time, we hadn't been part of a church family for almost 9 years because of experiences in our life with a previous church. And to know that we've gained a home and be a part of this, and then to become stronger in my prayer life, stronger in my giving. My wife and I have been together for 39 years. And just in the last couple of years, thank you. Just in the last couple of years, we actually began to hit our knees every morning and pray together. And that's just enhanced it even more, and look forward to another 39 years with her. What a beautiful lady. So it's all because of being here and being part of this church family that our family has gotten stronger too.
Good morning. My name is Angel Pulliam, and I've been coming to Scottsdale Christian since about 1981. I became a Christian when I was about 8, and I'm so excited to see the kids just recently. So many of them have been baptized and accepted Christ as their Savior. It's God's will when we become a Christian to become part of His church. The church is his plan. And I remember all those years ago when I became a Christian, I was with my Sunday school teacher, and we went out to lunch that day, and we were singing, "I'm so glad I'm a part of the family of God." And I had a great example in my grandma, who belonged to her church for 50 years. She lived in Michigan, and was a part of the church that I became a Christian in for a few years, and then of course grew up. And in the 80s, my sister and I were looking for a youth group, and so we came to Scottsdale Christian. And this is a place that I've been able to serve God, that just as you all have said, this has been my family. God gives us a family, and this has been a place where I belong. Probably about 12 years ago, I was sitting in the back row, and I remember thinking, where do I belong? I didn't know what life was going to bring in the future, and I knew I had been here for years, but I wanted to know specifically, God, where do I belong? And I said that prayer, and He didn't answer right away. But I can tell you in a very personal way, He said shortly thereafter, you belong here. And so this has been my family, and I love it. Thank you.
Hello. My name is Shri Soto Gonzalez, and I've been going here for about 3 years and a couple months. And most of you pretty much know me because I'm on stage, but few of you know me personally. And I grew up in a Mormon family, very, very strict Mormon family, and all of my family is still Mormon. And unfortunately for me, I struggled a lot trying to get the answer that everybody else was getting, and I did everything I was supposed to do. And finally in high school I kind of fell off and was just having such a hard time trying to figure out where I was supposed to be. And my first experience of a Christian church was just so awesome, and I was going with a friend, and I said, okay, well, I might want to get baptized, and some things transpired and I never got baptized. And then I fell into a kind of, I hate religion period of my life. And then I met my now husband, Elliot, and basically we had a conversation about what we believe in, and he said, God is really important to me. And at the time, in his mind, he was saying, well, if you don't believe in God, it's probably not going to work out. But I'm really glad he didn't say that to my face, because it probably would have been really bad. And he invited me to come see his brother's baptism in this church. And from the first chord in the first song, I knew I was home. And I knew that this was going to be my church. And 3 weeks later, I was baptized. I didn't need very long. And, it's a funny story about my baptism. Elliot and I were just dating at the time, and we had an argument the night before I got baptized. And my mom, of course, it was really hard for her being Mormon. I'm getting baptized Christian, and she was like, well, are you going to still have him baptize you? And I'm like, by dang it, I don't care if I hate him the entire way. I'm going to get baptized today. So I'm so glad to be at this church. It's been the most amazing experience. I've met so many amazing people. It allows me to utilize all the talents that I have and everything for God. And it's really been something that's made my life so enriched, and I'm just so grateful to have this church. So thank you.
We just got to hear just a few stories. There are just so many more out there. God's doing some amazing things. I know that this church has helped me. This has been the hardest year of my life, and the people in this church have supported me and loved me and my family, and we are incredibly grateful for that. And so, you hear that God does a lot of stuff in a lot of people's lives, but for you to see it and for you to live it out, I think is really cool. And so I'm just going to pray, and we're going to be done.